Hey everyone, welcome. In machine learning, we're always told to get more data, more data, more data. But what if some of that data is actually hurting your model? Today, we're going to dive into feature selection. It's the art of picking the real winners from your data and tossing out the rest.
I mean, that's the common wisdom, right? The more features you have, the more information your model gets, and the better your predictions will be. But let's challenge that for a second. What if I told you that being a little picky, a little more selective, could actually make your model smarter, faster, and way easier to understand?
Think about it like this. A single, perfectly cut diamond is worth way more than a whole truckload of unrefined rocks. And in the world of data, finding that one diamond, that one feature that really tells the story, can make or break your entire project.
So let's start with the problem itself. When you just throw everything at your model, you can run into something called feature overload. And it's not just messy, it can actively work against you. So why even bother with this? Well, it's not about being lazy. It's about being strategic. There are 4 huge wins here. You can actually improve your model's accuracy by getting rid of the noise. You can make it run way faster. You can avoid some really nasty math problems. And maybe most importantly, you can build a model that you, a human being, can actually look at and understand. Okay, so how do we actually do this choosing? Today, we're going to look at 2 classic foundational methods. I want you to think of them as 2 different kinds of artists, starting with the same block of material, but with totally different approaches to finding the masterpiece inside. On one side, we have sequential forward selection, or SFS. Let's call SFS the builder. It starts with absolutely nothing and adds the best brick or feature one at a time. On the other side, we've got sequential backward selection, or SBS. This is the sculptor. It starts with the whole block of marble and carefully chips away the useless pieces until only the statue is left.
All right, let's put our builder, SFS, to the test. We're going to see how this bottom-up approach works on a real problem. Okay, so we're starting with nothing, an empty set, and our goal is to pick the best 2 features. SFS looks at each of the 4 features all by themselves and asks, which one of you is the strongest performer alone? And in this case, feature X2 comes out on top. So boom, that's our foundation, our first building block.
Now, we lock in X2. We don't touch it. SFS then tries pairing it with each of the remaining features to find the best possible partner. And it turns out the combination of X2 and X3 is the power couple. They give us the highest score. That's our second block.
And since our goal was just to find 2 features, we stop right there. The builder has done its job. It's constructed its optimal set, X2 and X3. It's a really simple, logical, step-by-step process. All right, now let's switch gears and bring in our sculptor, SBS. It's going to tackle the exact same problem, but from the complete opposite direction. So the sculptor starts with the full block of marble, all 4 features working together. Then it asks a different question. If I have to get rid of one of you, which one's departure hurts me the least? In this case, removing feature X1 causes the smallest drop in performance, so X1 gets chipped away.
Okay, now we're down to 3 features. The sculptor does the exact same thing again. Of these 3, which one can I remove to leave behind the strongest possible pair? And the answer is to remove feature X4. That leaves us with the most powerful duo left standing, X2 and X3. And just like that, we've hit our goal of 2 features. The sculptor has revealed its final statue, and it's the set X2, X3. Wait a second, notice anything? That's the exact same result our builder came up with. So they're just 2 different ways to get to the same answer, right? Well, not so fast.
This right here, this quote from the source material is everything. In our little example, they just happened to agree, but that was a happy coincidence. The source is warning us very clearly that this will not always happen, and that is the crucial twist we need to understand. So, this gets us to the heart of it. Both of these methods, the builder and the sculptor, have a hidden fatal flaw. They're what we call greedy. And this greediness can actually lead them to completely different answers. So let's really put this to the test. Let's give them a totally new problem. And let's see if our builder and our sculptor still agree on what this single best feature is. And, whoa, look at this. When we ask SFS, the builder, to pick this single best feature, it looks at them individually and grabs X2 because it has the best solo score. Makes sense. But SBS, the sculptor, works backwards from the full set
and it ends up deciding to keep X1, which has a much lower solo score. They totally disagree.
This right here is the big twist, and it's called the nesting problem. Think of it like this. SFS is a climber starting at the bottom of a mountain, and it's only allowed to go up. SBS is another climber starting at the very top, and it's only allowed to go down. They might each find a nice peak from their direction, but they can never turn back to see if the other climber found an even higher one.
And this brings us to what it really means to be a greedy algorithm. It's an algorithm that makes what looks like the best possible choice at every single step, right in that moment. For SFS, once a feature gets added, it's in for good. For SBS, once a feature gets kicked out, it's gone forever. These decisions are permanent. There are no takebacks. And that's their strength. It makes them super fast, but it's also their biggest weakness.
Okay, so now that we've seen them in action, the good, the bad, and the greedy, let's put them head-to-head one last time to really lock in the differences. This table lays it all out pretty clearly. SFS starts empty and adds. SBS starts full and subtracts. This makes SFS a great choice when you want a really small, simple final model. On the flip side, SBS is often faster if you have tons of features to start with and you just want to trim a few bad ones. And their nesting problem? It's a perfect mirror image. SFS can get stuck with an early choice that seemed good at the time, while SBS might accidentally toss out a feature that would have been a superstar in a different combination.
So after all that, what are the most important things to walk away with? Number one, FSS and SBS are workhorses. They're fast, they're simple, they often work pretty well. But, and this is a big but, remember they're greedy, which means they are not guaranteed to find the absolute perfect solution. That core flaw, their inability to change their minds, is called the nesting problem. And finally, understanding these two is absolutely crucial because they're the foundation for almost all of the more advanced techniques out there.
Which really leaves us with one final fascinating question. We've got speed on one hand and the search for the perfect answer on the other. What happens when you need the best of both worlds? What if an algorithm could be fast, but also have the ability to go back and fix its earlier mistakes? What would that even look like? Well, that's a puzzle for another time.